Regenerative neuropathy treatments are extremely beneficial, yet many people are unaware of what it is and its benefits. Today, we are learning how it can help patients of all ages by treating chronic pain, disease, acute injury, or simply for patients who are looking to reach optimal health. Joining us live, once again, we have Dr. Chad Weber from Regenerative Neuropathy, the St. Louis Neuropathy Experts. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so this is pretty interesting, Dr. Weber. Let's say there's someone who has just completed their chemotherapy and they have full signs to point to recovery, but now for some reason their feet and hands, they're starting to lose that sensitivity. What's going on here?
Yeah, so a lot of patients don't know, unfortunately, they're going through these life-saving treatments, right? So they're focused on saving their lives. They're going through cancer. They're going through, chemotherapy and radiation treatment.
Yeah.
The second leading cause of peripheral neuropathy in the United States is chemotherapy-induced neuropathy.
Wow.
So a lot of patients, some are told this might be a possibility. A lot of patients are never even explained this might actually happen. I had a conversation literally yesterday with a guy that called. He's like, I had cancer treatment 7 years ago.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, 5 years or so after it started happening, I was like, yeah, it can happen delayed even, but they're not. I was never told this was a possibility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, about 70% of patients that have chemotherapy will get peripheral neuropathy after the fact.
Well, that's so interesting, and I know we had previously spoken with one of your patients, Karen.
Yes.
And it's incredible. I mean, people aren't thinking about this because, as you mentioned, they're fighting for their life right now.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of a weird deal. So these oncologists are doing the best they can, right?
Right.
We're not knocking the oncology people. They're here to try to save lives and do what they're doing. They're in their lane, But even her, she was, she worked in healthcare for 30 years and didn't know this was a possibility even, and it was never explained to her. It's like, well, what the heck's happening? I'm losing my mobility. I can barely stand up. I can't enjoy my retirement. I survived this tragic disease, but the quality of life ramifications from the damage the chemotherapy and radiation caused her to have was, threatening her ability to walk.
Wow.
So it's really unfortunate that someone's going, they're so hyper-focused on the moment, but also not really knowing the ramifications of what could possibly happen from the treatments they're getting.
Of course. And you actually have a pretty neat opportunity with Simon Cancer Center. I'd love for you to tell us about that.
Yeah, so we had a very amazing opportunity. So we've been treating hundreds of chemotherapy patients over the years, and I guess the word got out to Simon. They saw the results of what we were getting, and so 4 months ago they reached out to us and offered me to come out and give a presentation to healthcare professionals, social workers, nurse practitioners. There was a handful of cancer patients that were there as part of what they have a support group for cancer people.
Wow.
So we got the blessed opportunity to go out there and present what we do, and it was an amazing opportunity, and it was cool to kind of be welcomed into that world because it's kind of they're in their lane, they're doing what they're doing, and don't really know there's other things out here that we can do to help treat these patients. And they were seeing the results we were getting. And it's like, well, come out here and explain this to us, right?
Yeah.
And so we had the great opportunity to do that, which was a blessed moment. And I'm super excited together working forward with them over the years because they said, please bring us your information. We'll put brochures, flyers out in our centers, and we can start educating and passing people on your information.
Yeah.
So they do their job, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
those patients can come see us, and we do our job.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's a really big deal, and it just shows that you're having those successful rates, and people are noticing that this is an option. So if people are hearing this now today, or they're thinking about, Karen still, or they're finding things 7 years later, struggling with some nerve damage, what do they need to know to learn more? Because I know you have some really successful seminars.
Yeah, Karen was a great example. She came to one of our seminars. How her journey began, basically. So seminars getting a great opportunity. It's a pretty open forum. We were averaging 30 to 40 people coming and showing up to these things. We do an educational presentation, that's about a half an hour. So we're going through a presentation explaining what peripheral neuropathy is, what's actually happening. And then we do my favorite part, which is the Q&A thing. So I usually spend 30 to 45 minutes answering questions, as many as I possibly can, so patients can actually get some understanding. Unfortunately, we see every day as these patients come in the office and no one's ever explained to them, why am I feeling this way? What's actually going on? Right. And how can we actually fix this without the use of taking gabapentin and these pain medications, right? So it's a great opportunity to get your questions answered, get some education, get some food, you get a copy of the book when you come out and show up, so that's always, a bonus, I guess.
Of course it is.
If they want to come get an examination, we offer them the opportunity at the seminar to come in for an appointment, get an examination, kind of really see what we're about firsthand. And we go from there.
Yeah, incredible. Well, thank you so much for joining us
thanks for
today. I mean, you think about some of these cancer survivors fighting for their life, and of course, we want to help them have a longevity and fulfilling life as well, and looking great.
The quality of life is very important after the fact. Right?
Absolutely. That free seminar, it's going to be this Thursday at 8:30 at Eckert's. Again, you receive a free book and breakfast. All you have to do is call 618-206-1011 to register. They only have 30 spaces. Again, that's 618-206-1011 to register.